I think when I started Little 5, I was like, this is something that's so cool for me to be doing. And then over the past 2.5 years, it's turned into not what I can do, but like the bigger picture, because I've been really involved also in like the leadership side this year. And so learning that it's a lot more like philanthropic based has been super, super cool and really fulfilling.
It is the greatest college weekend in America, and it's really hard to like find like one thing to describe like how special it is, because it is a special event. Like if you haven't seen it before, like you just gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a special, magical, whatever you'll say. It could also be like an awful day too.
Yeah.
If things don't go your way.
At the end of the day, like my only goal is to win. Like, yes, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't want to win. We're all athletes, like we're all competitors. But I love like the people and I love the process and I like the person that I'm becoming because of the process. And I wouldn't do it if I wasn't. And so being able to get that out of something that just like kind of fell into my lap freshman year is so cool. I've like never expected it.
Welcome back to The Player's Perspective, a podcast powered by Hoosiers Connect. As the official NIL collective of IU Athletics, Hoosiers Connect provides exclusive access to IU student athletes, offering fans an inside look at their lives both in and out of competition. Tune in weekly to hear stories and perspectives from the incredible athletes that make Hoosier Nation
Racing
proud.
outfit on. Are you about to head out there soon?
Yeah, I'll be up the track in like whenever this gets done. Like
Oh my
15
gosh.
minutes and I'll head out.
So how many days a week do you practice?
Ooh, it depends on the week, but usually it's like 6 to 7 days out of the week. So yeah, it's a lot that goes into it.
Is there like, how many miles go into a day or a week? Do you do it by miles or laps? I don't know.
On the track, we do it by laps.
Yeah.
And before the track, like we'll do more like mile intensive days.
Yeah.
So like in a week, we'll get like either 250 to 400 miles in a week of just like training. But we don't do that much once we get to the track. Like it opens in February, so we're doing anywhere between like, I'd say 150 to 200 miles a week.
I want to get back to the training in a little bit, but first, you're from Bloomington.
I'm from Bloomington.
And you're on the Cutters team. Like that's, if people like don't know Little 5, can you just explain a little bit about, being from Bloomington, the Cutters team, how important that is to you and kind of how you got into racing?
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, being a Cutter is like pretty special,
Right.
especially just being from Bloomington itself. Like I've been around like the Bloomington culture and all that. Like my dad was a townie, and you get the word townie a lot. Like it just means someone from Bloomington, like comes from the movie Breaking Away.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it here. Like great film.
If they haven't, everybody needs to watch it.
Yeah, great film. But my dad was in the movie actually. So,
Really?
yeah, surprisingly.
Was he a racer?
No, he was an extra.
Oh, that's okay. So that's pretty cool.
But he was an extra, and he actually didn't like the experience because it just took so long to film.
Yeah.
But he got paid for it, so that was
Right,
nice.
right.
But he showed me the movie growing up, and then he was also a bike racer in town.
Yeah.
But wasn't a bike racer in the movie, so he had a lot of like affiliations and just like ties towards the Cutter team.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I was always around like alumni and stuff like that, and like I also grew up near the quarries, like where it was filmed, so I spent a lot of time swimming in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was great.
Which is closed now.
It's
right.
Yeah, it's closed, but there's like several other quarries
Yeah.
people go to, and you can still access.
Did you like grow up wanting to be a biker or like wanting to be on the Cutters team specifically, or was this just kind of like it happened once you got into college?
Yeah, I'd say like I always knew that I was going to take cycling seriously at some point, but before cycling, I was a swimmer. I did that for like 14 years.
Wow.
Wanted to swim D1 and all that. And then fast forward to my junior year of high school, I decided to make the transition to cycling. Like Bloomington just has like such a good culture and community of cyclists, so it's just like a natural fit for me. And also cycling is just way more fun than swimming.
Right.
Because swimming, you're staring at the bottom of a pool, like one line, you're doing back and forth. Like there's not that many variables that go with it.
Yeah.
And also the training is just grueling because as like, swimmers are swimming in the morning, like 5 before school, and then they have to do it again.
Yep. I was the same way. I swam in middle school.
Oh, you did?
Not that impressive, but I quit because I couldn't do doubles in like 6th grade. I was like, we're good. I can't wake up at 5 a.m. But how did you get on the team you're on now, did you try out? Did you ask to get on the team?
Yeah.
Did you, like, how did that work?
It was a interesting start, like getting towards the Cutters. Like I knew the coach, Jim Kirkham, like he's friends with my dad, so I've been in contact with him like since a baby, pretty much. And like I knew that he coached the Cutters, and growing up around him, I thought the team was like the coolest thing ever. But my junior year, I became pretty good friends with like the guys on Blackheath Bulls. They were so nice to me. Like they went on bike rides with me. They took me to hang out and stuff like that. So I got pretty involved into like the Blackheath Bulls community. But then my senior year, I just really connected with the Cutters. I started going on the rides with some of like the current team during then, like 2022, 2021, 2022. Torrin Craig Maywar, he was on the team then, big influence of my life. One of my best friends. I raced with him in 2023, but I became friends with him like my senior year of high school, and kind of just like took me under his wing. Like we hung out a lot of bike rides. And it wasn't until after the 2022 race, we had like a little after party, Cutters after party. It's always a great time. Like we'll have like a live band and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It's a great time to celebrate. But I went up to Jim and I was like, I want to be a Cutter. And he was like, okay.
It was easy as that.
It was easy as that.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
Like I knew that I was on the team before then.
Yeah.
But it was just like, hey Jim, can I be a Cutter?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
So going back to the training, because I think this is most interesting about Little 500. When do you start training when did you start training for this year's race?
I would say I started training April 21st.
Of last year.
So the day after the race.
So the day after the race last year. You started training for this year.
Started training.
That is crazy. So
yeah.
Obviously it's hard to train in Indiana because it's snowing.
So awful. It's so bad.
It's snowing half the year. How do you train during the winter season?
So yeah, during the winter, I like to stay outside as much as possible.
Really?
When the conditions are pretty like nasty, like coldest I'll go out is sub like 25 degrees. Anything under that, just I got to go inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's brutal. Like I've had so many just awful rainy. Like it's worse when it's rainy. Like when it's snowing, it's like not that bad because it's
really
dry. But when it's like a little over 32,
and
it's like raining on you, it's miserable. But I have too many of those rides. But when it gets really bad, like I'll go inside and I'll do like some virtual riding. It's called Swift.
Are you on just like a?
It's like
a still bike.
It's a still like you take your road bike and then you attach it to like a trainer.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You put it on a trainer, or they have these things called rollers where like you don't attach your bike to anything. You just like jump on it and then you'll like spin on. Like if you go outside, you'll see like a bunch of girls or dudes on them just warming up for the track.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of those like roller sessions, and we'll like do it with the whole team. So sometimes we'll have like 10 of us in like our garage or basement when it's like super nasty out, just like grinding away. Yeah. It's a good time. Like it's really mentally challenging, like doing indoor stuff because
you're just looking at a blank wall.
Yeah,
right?
it's like swimming.
Yeah, it's just like swimming.
It's like swimming, but I'd say it's more exciting than swimming because you can actually just like turn on a TV show or watch Instagram Reels, like all that.
Do you prefer to ride with someone when you're training? So do you train with your team a lot, or is it a lot of individual?
It's like a mixture of both.
Yeah.
I'd say once like the Little 5 season starts, it's more like team based. And that Little 5 season pretty much starts like once the school session begins. So there's a lot of like just fun team rides in the fall. And then as we go on through the year, we do like a training trip. And this year we went to Austin, Texas.
Really?
Great.
So you guys go on a training trip. How many days is that trip?
It depends on the year. This year we're lucky enough to get like, I think it was 7 days out there.
Oh my gosh. And you just ride.
Yeah, we ride and we bond and
that is awesome.
The whole day doing it. It's like, yeah, it's so fun.
And so you said the track opened in February, correct?
Track opened late February, I believe.
So once it opened, was it like all hands on deck? Everyone's coming to the track and starting to prepare? Yeah. What's like the first thing you guys do to prepare for the race once you get on the track finally?
Ooh, first thing we do, I'd say we like all the things that we do for the track to get prepared. Like we do it like months in advance. Like we'll be on the Little 5 bikes, on rollers, like indoors training, or we'll go outside on some gravel roads and like ride our Little 5 bikes. It just like helps our handles and like pack riding abilities and stuff like that. this year the track was closed for the first week because the weather was so bad. Like there was so much snow
Yeah.
that you just couldn't go outside. But it's pretty much just like getting your bike dialed in, whether that be like having all the right equipment, because like that's the most important part. Like if your bike isn't functional, then you're doing something wrong.
Have you had to go through like multiple bikes before? Like, has your bike ever broken down in the middle of a race or just training session?
It has, yeah. I'm not sure if you heard of this event called Missing Out. It's it's like part of the spring series that they do for Little Five. It's where, how do I explain this? Like, basically, you got to be the first one across the line.
Okay.
Or the last person across the line gets eliminated. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 laps. So there's like 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you just don't want to be last.
Gosh.
And we're going into the finals, and I had like my front tire just blew up with 3 laps to go.
What do you do in that situation?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I was just done at that situation.
Oh,
like
my God.
I had the legs and I felt good to win, but settled third because of mechanical. Yeah, front wheel blowing up.
Also, when we were walking in, literally for this podcast, you mentioned, I was like, oh, you guys might get lucky that it won't be raining on Saturday. But you said you like the rain. Why do you prefer, I guess, a rainy day cycling on race day?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's kind of a funny saying for the Cutters. Like, Cutters love the rain.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I would say from like 2008 to 2011, like there was just like a period of just really bad weather days where it was just like either really cold or rainy for the race days. And that like 5-year period is when we won like consecutively.
Yeah.
So like no matter what the conditions are, like we love it. But also on the technical side of rain, like it makes the track so much faster because like, it gets packed down, the cinders are all packed together and all that stuff. So it just makes it more smooth and more easy to like go around the turns and stuff, because when it's like dry, it gets all loose on the top, and that's when like all the crashes happen, or it just makes it a little washy.
So do you think all the other riders think the same? They're like, okay, we hope it's a little wet, so it'll be easier to ride.
For sure. I'd say like there's like a balance between it.
Yeah.
You don't want too much rain.
Right.
It's like bogging down the track and there's just like puddles everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that sucks. But when there's like a little bit of rain, a little bit of water, like teams want that.
So usually a lot of the spectators love watching the crashes, and you know that's a part of the sport, but also the transitions, that's where a lot of them happen. How do you guys train for the transition from getting on the bike, getting off the bike?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, those transition exchanges, we just do it every practice. Like you just got to make it like second nature in a sense. Like that's one of the most important features and the thing that makes Little Five so unique. Yeah. Because you got to exchange with another rider. So yeah, it's a lot of just practice within the practice. And then you get pretty intensive with the practice leading up to quals. Yeah. Because like quals is so intense, and like I'd say it's more nerve-wracking than the race. You think so? Yeah.
So is it
you only get 3 chances to in the race? Yeah.
So going into this week, super exciting week. How are you feeling going into it?
Ooh, trying to suppress the emotions for sure. Like it's a week where there's just so much going on. You also got to balance out school, and you just got to balance out like regular life. Trying to have as few distractions as possible. Yeah. My mindset is just got to be calm. Yeah.
Does this year feel any different than your years prior?
For sure. I'd say I feel more prepared because like this is my 3rd year doing it. Freshman year didn't know what to expect. Of course, like never seen anything like it before or felt like anything like the race itself. So there's like a lot of like fear and just like nervous energy and pressure, of course, because you got your friends, your family, and all your alumni just like talking to you about how do you feel about the race, and you're just like sometimes you just want them to leave you alone.
Oh, I get it.
Just lock in.
I understand. Will you have a lot of family and friends watching you on Saturday?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh my God.
A lot of family, especially being here in town, like being a townie, being a local. A lot of my hometown friends will be here. A lot of my family members, and then this will probably be like one of the biggest alumni turnout I have in a long time. So that's nice. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
And lastly, just what does being a part of Little 500 mean to you? And what does it mean to be able to, get out on this track on Saturday and showcase what is one of the greatest college weekends in America?
Oh man, yeah, it is the greatest college weekend in America, and it's really hard to like find like one thing to describe like how special it is
Mhm.
because it is a special event. Like if you haven't seen it before, like you just gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a special, magical, whatever you'll say. It could also be like an awful day too. if
Yeah.
things don't go your way. So it's just like, yeah, for me, it's just what my lifestyle is
Yeah.
right now. Like I surround all my like outside hobbies or whatever, like whatever I do, like school, that like it's just how can I fit it in with like little five?
Yeah.
So it's just it's a special day.
That's exciting. And one last thing, do you have anything to say about, you know, about Saturday or what your expectations are for Saturday?
Ooh, Saturday. Hoping that will be a good performance for everyone there. That's like one of my biggest motivators and like things that's like make me excited. Like I want it to be a good show for like the spectators, fans, and all that. So that's what I'm hoping for. Hope everyone can stay dry because I'm hoping for the rain. But other than that, like it's a great day.
Well, good. We're excited to watch you on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Perfect. So are you excited for this weekend? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited. So I'm a junior. So this is my third race,
Yeah.
which is just like crazy to me that it's almost like more than halfway done. But I think it's really weird because last year we won, which is so cool. It's like a great opportunity. But then just like coming in and we get to wear yellow, which is like what the winners from the past year wear in a race. But it's just like an exciting time to like get back, and there's nothing quite like April.
Yeah.
The third week of April in Indiana.
It's so fun. This will be my first race, so I'm excited to be both at the women's and men's race.
Yeah.
But last year you crossed the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
What was that emotion? How did you feel? And just like, how does it carry into a little bit of your motivation this year?
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't realize I'd be the one that was crossing the finish line.
Yeah.
Until like the last 10 laps. My coach was like, "Oh, you're going in at like lap 96," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, guess that's how it'll be. And we had this lead, and it was such a surreal moment to just like cross the line and be able to throw my hands up and have that moment that almost every single little five rider dreams of, but only a select few are able to do. And it's one thing to win, but to be able to cross the line was so amazing.
Did you get like the perfect picture?
Yeah, somebody just has like the best photo of me with my arms up. I'm like, I'm framing that. That's going out. My kids are going to hear about this one day. And just, I think like having that and then being only a sophomore when that happened, we only graduated one person from our team last year. And so to have 3 returning riders and then another rider come in, it's just been really cool to build on the momentum and the trajectory that we started last year.
Yeah. So last year was your team's 9th win.
Yeah.
And so this year it's a little more stressful because number 10 would make you guys the all-time leading team to win races, correct?
I think it's on the women's side, I think we're ahead. And then the men's side, it's like Cutters is at 15.
But women's, we're talking women's.
Women's, yeah. So I don't know what the second highest team has like in terms of wins, but definitely 10 is like that golden number. And you just look at it and you're like, wow, okay, double digits. That would be so cool, especially because Theta was such a pivotal part of starting the women's race. And I wouldn't really say pressure from any of like our alumni or anybody like that. I think it's a lot of internal pressure. If you get that as like an athlete. Yeah, definitely just like, oh, I want to do well for myself and to make everybody else proud. And because I know I can do these things, and to not accomplish those things, I would be kind of sad because I know we're capable of them. But like pressure from outside people know it's like they want you to go ride. They want you to have fun. They want you to enjoy it. At the end of the day, they're all going to like pick you up regardless of how you did.
Yeah.
But to be able to be the one that got 10 would be insane. So that's the goal.
That is so cool. Who's your biggest like competition this year?
Definitely, I would say it's a deeper field than in years past. So
and that's good for the women's side.
It's awesome. Like as a competitor, it's like that's what you want. It's like you don't want to just go and like be the only one that to like look out for or anything. It just makes it a lot more interesting, and it's like that's what a bike race is about. But I'd say there's a lot of amazing individual riders from like Melanzana. There's a girl named Evelyn from Novus. There's Dorothy, and those are both amazing riders. And then you have super deep women's teams like DG and AKO.
Mhm.
And then you have independent teams like Theta that are going to definitely put up like a good fight, and everybody's going to be there. I think it's going to be a lot closer, not as big of a margin at victory this year, regardless of what that looks like, but definitely there's a lot of really deep teams. So it'll be, I think, interesting, closer than it has in years past.
What does your typical week of training look like? And then maybe like a couple weeks ago, like a normal training week, because I bet you taper now heading into the race. You're probably not racing as many miles or as many laps as you are. But what was it like a month ago?
A month ago, so in the fall, it's pretty different than the spring. So in the fall, we have like a set amount of hours that we're supposed to ride on the bike. So like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus. And that's all road riding in Bloomington, which is gorgeous. Like I never expected to be able to see as much of Bloomington as I have now. And it's fun because I'll just like go drive those routes and people are like, oh, like, outside of campus. I'm like, yeah. So we would do a bunch of road rides, get our base. And then in the winter and spring, we get like specific like interval based workouts. So we're doing those 3-4 times a week and then rides on top of that. So it's around like, I want to say anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours a week.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, as an athlete, that's like not horrible like time commitment. It's like you're doing those things and they're fun, but it's definitely a lot more like high intensity in the spring. And now definitely the taper is nice.
Yeah, but it's just so crazy saying like that's not like so intense, like those hours a week. But I think people need to keep in mind like you're doing this out of like you're just doing this for fun.
Yeah,
like some of the athletes at the university, like we are getting scholarship, getting paid to do this, being a part of a like a really big athletic department. But like you are putting in this many hours of work simply for the joy of being on a team and representing your team, representing Low 5 and your sorority. And being in a sorority, obviously it's not easy to just be on a bike team right away. Like when you came into college and when you were a part of Theta, did you think that you're going to be on the racing team, or was it just came about?
I like didn't go into IU being like, oh, I want to ride Level 5. My dad was involved with like helping put on the race when he was here. Okay. I had a background of what it was, and I was like, oh, I'll just like help put it on. Right. I want to do that. And then I joined the Student Foundation, which is the body that puts on the race. And they showed us a video, and I was like, wait, no, I want to ride in this. And I kind of went through recruitment being like, oh, I might want to ride. It's just like, whatever works out, like it'll happen how it's supposed to. And I joined Theta, and
one of the best racing teams.
Yeah. And so then it just kind of came to fruition. I was like, well, why not? Like I really like the people that are riding. And it was like, I think a lot of Little 5 riders are a lot of like, I don't want to say like washed up high school athletes, but like good high school athletes that like didn't go playing college, and we all are like missing that team. And so when I found that at Theta and I really liked the people, I just was like, well, why not like just dive into it, like embrace it. And I think that's the beauty of Little 5 is like, I literally just had this conversation with somebody about 20 minutes ago was, there's teams that might not put in as much time or effort, and that's completely fine. But the teams that do, and you embrace Little 5 for what it is, you get so much out of it. And I'm sure you definitely understand that.
I just got goosebumps. This makes me so excited for Friday.
Yeah, it's just so cool because I like never expected to be friends with people on other teams. Like those are competitors, and just genuinely some of my favorite people that I've met at IU are on different teams. And it's cool to be able to. Little 5 is just so interesting because it's one of the only sports events where you are racing with your competitors on a daily basis. Yeah. So you see them like day in, day out. You can time them for all you want. Yeah. I don't really care enough to do that, but like people can see exactly like what type of workout you're doing. Like if you're fast, if you're not, like if you have an off day. But it's really cool because instead of, sometimes I think people can use that like against you, but in this community, I feel like people use it and it's like, okay, if I'm having a bad day and one of my friends on another team sees that, they're like, oh, you got it. Like, go for it. And it's cool to have a sense of camaraderie outside of your team, which I've never really found anywhere else.
That is so cool. I was standing outside watching a couple of the teams practicing, and I was kind of just like watching from like an outside perspective, someone that doesn't know a lot about racing, but it was really cool. They were like, working on jumping on the bike, working on transitions. And I was like, it was like just one of the coolest things ever. How do you prepare for the race coming up this weekend? But also one of the most important things is the transition.
Oh, like bike, like trading bikes. Yeah.
How does that work?
It's like the first thing they teach you when you basically go. I call it like boot camp, but they call it rookie week.
Okay.
So
when is rookie week?
So they basically, when you come to IU, whenever you decide you want to ride in Little 5, if you decide you want to join in the spring, rookie week is the first like week, or it's like the last 2 weeks in February.
Oh my god.
And you basically have to hit like certain amount of hours, but they teach you like how to jump on a bike, how to get off, like how to do exchanges, how to ride like safely with other people, and all these different skills. And then once you're like basically checked off for all these things, then you're free to go ride on the track once it opens. So one of the first things they teach you is exchanges. And it's like the most daunting thing because you're like, oh, this bike is flying at me at 20 miles an hour. And I'm just supposed to grab it and throw myself on. But the way that at least Theta does it, we have 4 riders. And then we have 2 bikes. 2 of us ride at the same seat height.
Okay.
And then the other 2 ride at the same seat height. So like I can't ride the bike of somebody that's like 5'10".
Yeah.
Because I'm not 5'10", I'm 5'4".
So what happens if there's like such a drastic difference? Like 3 of the girls are the same. Oh, you would have 2 bikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
How many bikes are you allowed to have?
You're allowed to have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what happens? Okay, so if one of the bikes goes down during the race, do you only have that one available then?
Yeah. So I'm gonna knock on wood wherever. I don't have to find out. So if like you go down and your bike's fine, like you can get up, you can ride it. But if not, wherever your bike went down on the track, you can get the other bike from like the mechanic or the person on the infield, and you have to run and basically tag out that person. And like, the bike race can still be going on, but like you can't jump on your bike from where you are. You have to go from like where that bike went down.
Yeah.
So it can like cost a lot of time if it does go down and break. So like hopefully don't have to figure that out.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Have you ever fallen bad?
Fallen bad, yes. Okay,
I was gonna ask. I saw it. I was like, is that from riding?
Yeah, this is from spring break.
Oh.
Which like one of our rookies, she went down and I just went over her. Which it could have been so much worse, but...
Were you on the track?
Yeah.
Okay, so rumor is if you fall sometimes down on the track, the like pellets get inside of you.
So is there like kind of see it like it's darker right there?
So that'll like be inside of you forever, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And I have like scars kind of along here, but
that is dedication.
Yeah, it's basically cinder.
Yeah.
And it's like it sucks when it happens. Like you're just in such a state of shock, but like you basically have to get like a toothbrush.
Okay.
And like
scrape it out.
Yeah, like you literally have to like,
brush it out.
Yeah, brush it out.
Oh my gosh.
So I just like numbed it with lidocaine, and then sometimes it's too deep. Like you literally like have to just keep going side tweezers in my arm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, definitely not optimal.
That's crazy.
But somebody told me, I don't know if it makes me feel a little bit better or worse, but they're like, if you fall and you have cinder in your arm, like cinder wherever in your body, like you're lucky enough to take a piece of Little 5 with you.
That's true. That's true.
That's a great way to look at it.
What is the toughest part of your training?
I'd honestly say it's like the time management of it. Definitely, I'm sure you get that. Like, but we like definitely as bikers, like especially in the spring, like we have certain hours at the track, like, and everybody obviously wants to be at the track because that's where you race. You want to train where you race. And so like for women, we had I think the track was open from like 2 to 4:45 today, and I have class from like 2 to 4, and so I can't get to the track. So it's just like trying to manage that time. And my Mondays are really crazy, so it's like, okay, I'm either riding at like 5 a.m. or like 10 p.m. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to ride at 5 a.m. because I care about it and I want to do it. But it's like, I don't have any like special accommodations or do anything. It's just because I genuinely want to do this.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, I'm going to take this as my off day because it's inconvenient. It's like, no, I'm going to work around it because I care about it, which I think a lot of people don't always understand. They're like, well, why would he like ride then if you could just like take that as an off day? And I'm like, well,
You definitely were an athlete in high school.
Yeah.
What did you play?
I played soccer.
I can tell. You speak like an athlete.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, well, why wouldn't I do this?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because you want to win and you want to do well for your team.
exactly.
That is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like you said, also being in a sorority, this is one of the craziest weekends on campus. How do you focus yourself, like, and prepare yourself, because you have like the biggest day of your year on Friday, and there's Pride Madness going on in your sorority house. So how do you kind of keep that focus?
Yeah, so we are basically, do you guys edit this?
We can edit it.
Okay, I was just gonna be,
Yeah.
we basically, so all the riders, we go sober basically from like mid-February,
Really?
like the race, and a lot of like highly competitive teams do that too. And so like the only time like people really drink is like after quals, or like
Celebrating
on occasion,
something
like spring break. Yeah. So like most of us, like we aren't going out, like we aren't like out in the hustle and bustle, like not even like at the bars and not drinking.
Yeah.
Which like I think that kind of helps, because it's like, okay, like that's,
You also have like your group not doing it too. It's not just like okay.
And it's kind of nice because it's not just like, okay, it's not just the Thetas that are doing it. It's like
everybody
a
else.
lot of people that are really into the race don't do it. So it's nice to have a little bit of camaraderie in that, but definitely I still live in our house. So it's really crazy. I in a room with 4 other people right now. So
Any riders?
no.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I think just I've never lived with a rider. I don't know if I would like if I could, because I'm around it so much.
Oh yeah.
Like I need sometimes a different.
Oh, I don't live with athletes.
Yeah.
The last 2 years I've lived with high school friends, and they don't even know what a travel is or a 3-pointer. But they come to my game and they're like, and I'll come home like after a terrible game and they're like, you did so good.
I know.
And I'm like, thank you. And it's like, okay, so what do you want for dinner?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best. It's kind of like best of both worlds. You get to, you know, be at the track, and then also you can go back to your sorority house and be with like the same like-minded people and just have that support. Do they support you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. They're like here for everything that I do. I'm like, you guys don't need to show up. And I'm like, no, we're coming. They're literally the best. But definitely like chaos, because everybody's like going out. Everybody's has all these different plans. And what we do is we do like a lot of team events this week. So we typically like just hang out together because we like hanging out with each other. But like we try and get out of like the house and maybe out of the traffic. We'll go to the night before the race, we go to Lake Lemon.
Okay.
And one of our teammates, they have a lake house up there, so we spend the night
that's
up there, and then just kind of all day, like, or part of Friday there, and then we go back. We just sit at Theta, like kind of in a different space from everybody else.
Yeah.
And get our bearings here, like get all of our like emotions like down. And then we go out and we go to the track. So we have a little bit of calm before the story, definitely. But definitely just like tuning it out and
trying to
little preemptive measures.
Oh yeah. What's your team dynamic like?
So we actually have a full team, which is 10 people.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work? As someone that doesn't understand racing, 4 people race, right?
Yeah.
So how is there 10 people on a team?
So the way that in the eyes of Little 5, you can have up to 10 people on a team. Like you can't have more, so you can have them registered as like under Theta.
Okay.
Like, we have 10 registered riders. And then throughout the entire year, we like all train together. We all like go on our we do a winter training trip. So we all are like in Florida together. We stay here for spring break.
So you went to Florida this winter?
Yeah. It was really nice.
So fun.
And then basically come quals and race day, we just pick our best 4 riders and we put them out there. So there's a couple different events throughout the spring where we have like individual time trials.
Okay.
And there's something called Missing Out, which it's like a March Madness style bracket for like strategy and like racing. And then there's a team event called Team Pursuit where it's like 15 people, and I don't know how much like but all of that stuff. But basically those 4 events help us dictate some of our better like our race for. And then basically just like strategy, if you like kind of understand how the riders go, like team chemistry, like all of those things can factor into who your race for is. And a lot of different teams have a lot of really different methods for like picking their final 4. We as Thetas, even though it can be like hard. Like, we just put our 4 best riders out there. So, like, regardless of anything, like, if you're a freshman and you're the best rider, you're going to ride. And I like that because I think it never lets anybody sit back or slack. Everybody's just, like, always hungry to keep working, and nothing's, like, ever guaranteed.
Yeah. So what were your emotions the first time you were decided to be on one of the 4 spots I got to race?
Freshman year, I literally had 0 expectation. I was like, oh, I'm just going into this for fun. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I could actually be
pretty good at this.
Yeah, like a decent.
Well, you're an athlete. Like, you're an athlete beforehand. It's not like you came into this with like, no. Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. And they had a team. I'm trying to think how big the team was my freshman year. I think there was 5 before 3 of us joined as freshmen. So then there was 8 total. So I was like, oh, I'm probably like not even in the running for this.
Yeah.
And then I kind of kept getting these like little tastes of like, you're getting better, you're getting better, you're getting better. And I just kind of went like all in. I was like, why not? Like, what do I have to lose? Like,
yeah.
And then my coach was like, she like pulled me aside and she's like, hey, like, just wanted to tell you, you're on final race day team. And I was like, this is so surreal. Like, this is something that I've thought about like every day for the past couple of months. And some people think about it for years.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that I want to be a part of, and I know I see it, like, long-term, like, in for 4 years and being a huge part of my college experience. And I was like, to be able to start off as a rider and, like, ride in a race freshman year, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
You have, like, there's only a handful of freshmen that ever ride each year for any given team. And so to have that and be able to have that experience, like, I'm so grateful because I get one more year of doing something that I love.
Did you ever expect to even win last year? Like, were you like supposed to win last year?
There were 2 favorites, and it was between us and another team. And then the way that the race unfolded, it just kind of a lot of the cards ended up stacking in our favor.
Yeah.
And there's like a pretty bad crash for the other team. And so we just like saw an opportunity and took it and never looked back. And I knew we had a chance.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like that happened that I was like, we can do this. And
on what lap did you think like, okay, this is ours to take?
I want to say around 60.
Oh, so that's pretty early.
It's really early. I want to say the past since 2021, so the past 4 or 5 races, none of them have ended in a sprint finish. And I think that if there's a year for it to end like in a sprint finish, it would be this year, just because there's a lot more depth. And I think COVID like really took out a lot of like they had a lot of depth in like 2019, and then COVID happened, and so a lot of the teams that like had a base or had some sort of background like within Little 5, like if they didn't have super strong like funds or like alumni or basis, like they kind of fell. And so then I think in 2021, there's only like 15 teams that raced, and you can have up to 33 teams. And this year we had 36 teams try and qualify. Oh, wow. So it's just a way deeper field, and I don't think it's going to end unless something unfolds.
Yeah.
I don't think like the possibility of like a breakaway is as big this year as it was in the past, which I think is super exciting.
No, that's super exciting. Partial. No, very exciting. Lastly, just what does being a part of Little 5 mean to you?
Gosh, that's such a good question. That's like a loaded question.
I know. And there's probably so much that goes into it.
It's definitely, I think when I started Little 5, I was like, this is something that's so cool for me to be doing. And then over the past 2.5 years, it's turned into not what I can do, but like the bigger picture, because I've been really involved also in like the leadership side this year. And so learning that it's a lot more like philanthropic based has been super, super cool and really fulfilling. Obviously, there's a lot of fulfilling things like with that side, but then just on the race side of it, it's like you get like you're putting in hard work, and it's not necessarily because at the end of the day, like my only goal is to win. Like, yes, I want to be doing it if I didn't want to win. We're all athletes, like we're all competitors. But I love like the people, and I love the process, and I like the person that I'm becoming because of the process. And I wouldn't do it if I wasn't. And so being able to get that out of something that just like kind of fell into my lap freshman year is so cool. I like never expected it.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so excited to watch you race on Friday, and good luck.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm really excited.
Wait, so how did you even like come into Grand Marshal?
We hope you loved this episode of Players Perspective. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Stay connected with Hoosiers Connect on social media for even more exciting content featuring IU student athletes. Until next time, Hoosier Nation.